uh, Seagate is a data storage company,
Right,
right? Then you moved on to Hitachi, which does
right.
other things, but really known for industrial
Yes,
machinery, right?
yeah. So
So
yeah, that's also an interesting story. So at Seagate, Hitachi had a drive division. So Hitachi drive division was a customers of ours at Seagate. So yeah, after I got married and I was trying to move to Seattle, there were not many firmware jobs in Seattle. Most of it was, Microsoft and Amazon. They were not doing a lot of firmware stuff at that point of time. So I applied to Hitachi thinking I'm applying to the drive division. And there's probably a drive division here in Seattle. And so I applied, got through the interview, then I start my job and I realized they are like what they were building was actually they had these mainframe sort of big storage arrays that they were building with Seagate drives in it, but they were doing sort of actuation at a storage array level. And the team that I joined was actually trying to build sort of the first version of cloud, but like a private cloud. So they were combining server storage networking, and it would be completely sort of managed using APIs from the outside, and which is what AWS kind of does today at the most bottom layer. And we would sell that into like big banks and stuff, right? So the challenge, this was 2012, right? So at that time, you had to buy like Hitachi storage, you would buy like Cisco compute, and then you were buying networking from somebody else. And then there were 3 different admins trying to pull it all together. And so the goal was, hey, can we just like build a pre-made package, and then you would just have APIs manage all of that. So it was complete data center automation. So it was actually web services doing data center automation. So it was, yeah, I never had done web services before. So it was definitely a learning curve to learn that.
very interesting. And typically, what are the engineering roles at Hitachi? You mentioned about this very division that you were part of,
Yeah,
web services,
yeah,
center automation. Um, Typically, if there will be graduate students listening to this and
right.
master's students as well. Um, what are some of the other jobs like at Hitachi, which are engineering jobs for electronics?
Yeah, so I think so Hitachi at that point of time was trying to build out a pretty big software division. So there were your traditional roles of, in engineering, software engineering teams. There was um, product managers, right? PMs, just developers, automation engineers or test engineers, quality engineers and managers for that. And then outside of this circle, there were also like professional services. People were actually like building custom software for the end customer. That was also like an engineering team that was doing consulting. And then outside of that, which is slightly a role between sales and engineering. So they were like pre-sales guys who were still technical, but were not like actively coding. They were more like helping the customer pull the solution together. So I would say those were the big engineering roles at Hitachi.